Hi everyone, thank you for joining. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make piped flowers on top of a floral soap that I'm working on. So stick around for some tips and tricks. First we'll start off with the recipe that I used. Now this recipe that I used can be used for both the soap itself and the actual piping of the flowers. You just have to let some of this soap harden up for piping. After you've mixed it together, it takes a while to harden up. So that's up to you. It's exactly what I used for piping in this video though. The full recipe will make about 12 bars, and the half recipe that I show at the end only makes about 6 bars in a soap mold. So just in case you're wanting to split this up or do it on different days like I did, you have a reference. So I went ahead and made this soap batter on actually 2 separate days, and if you use the full recipe you'll get quite a few flowers, but I had to practice quite a bit because I've mostly only piped with frosting, and I've done one other pipe soap a couple years back, so I was out of practice. You can easily squish the soap to the top with your spatula. It brings everything to the right spot. And then for this video I'm using the Wilton 104 tip. And with this tip, to get the ideal shape for your flowers, you want to keep the wide end towards the center of where you're piping, and I'll show some better shots in a minute. But you do also want to turn the spindle at the same time, and you can turn it fast or slow. Again, this is me practicing, and it took a while to get it down. This is not a good example, but I just wanted to show you, what happens. That's if you don't turn the little base. And I would also recommend that you get a stainless steel one if you can, just because it holds up better to lye, but I only had plastic available in the store. And you also want to dab, if you can see underneath there is some actual soap that holds down. That's just parchment paper I'm piping on top of. So as long as you keep turning and you turn nice and slow, it's easy to maintain. It's just working with the soap, and this time I was piping, the soap actually started to get really thick really quickly, so it was taking a lot of pressure to actually pipe the flowers. The last thing I wanted to share is that after these cured for a couple days, I went ahead and I misted the top of the flower with some rubbing alcohol and some glitter, and then I just let them dry out a couple extra days. I didn't get video of it. I thought I was recording, but it didn't work out, so you'll see it in the final product here. Now for the color palette, I wanted to keep a somewhat light and springtime color palette, so I used Shamrock Silver from Nurture, and I also used the Berry Twist mica, and I did add some titanium dioxide and a white shimmer for the white base, and then I'm doing a white tea fragrance oil. It's not exactly floral, but it does have floral notes of jasmine, and the bergamot make it smell very perfumey. Now for the actual mixing of the soap, I wanted to do a drop swirl. Usually I do this with a lot more soap than this. So you just want to pour from really far up high to make sure that you're getting the soap way down in there. And then you can pour the batter into the soap mold. Once the batter was poured, I went ahead and I did spritz the top of these again with that rubbing alcohol and glitter mixture. And I just made sure to cover all the soap, and I was hoping that would come through. You can see it a little bit in the final product. Lastly, I went ahead and placed the little embeds that I made, or piped flowers I should say, on top. I did have to come back after a while though, because the first one I placed, it kind of sunk in a little bit, but later when I came back, the batter was starting to hard up quite a bit. I think it just waited a little bit too long, but I was able to get them in there pretty easily, so they did end up sticking at the end product. The next day I was able to easily pull these out of the mold, and you can see the flowers stuck pretty well, and the design is still very light and pastel. I don't have the best lighting in my house, but you can see how the flowers turned out, and I am excited to use this, and I'll go ahead and let it cure for the full 4 to 6 weeks. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more soap making videos like this.